Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Whew, man, it's a nice day today. 72 degrees. It's the perfect weather to get out and smell the fresh air and take a nice walk. In my case, another walk with purpose, episode number 721. Live from Red Morton Park here in beautiful Redwood City, California. Climate best by government test. And like I always say, you gotta love where you live. I love where I live, and you should love where you live too. This is the place that I call home. Yeah. So I have a pretty interesting topic to discuss here today, and I'm going to wait just a few minutes here to make sure people get the notification and start to pop on in. While we wait, and this is more so for the people on the replay too, just want to remind you folks that I did an in-studio stream earlier today that just ended about an hour and a half ago or so. And hold on a second. There we go. If you've been a part of my network for quite some time or part of my channel, and you've been following some of the unprovoked drama that's been plaguing our channels out here between my girlfriend Dawn and I, you're going to want to check out the stream before this one later on, because it'll pretty much say it all when it comes to why one particular person has been using me as his content. Let's just put it that way. His content for the last almost 6 years. And I think that the Coach Eli drama, I think it's about to come to an end. And I'm not going to talk really much about it here on the stream. I'm here to talk about another topic. But I just wanted to make you folks aware that missed my earlier stream. If you've been a part of my channel or you've known me for a while and you know what I've experienced, and you know what my girlfriend Dawn and I have experienced together, you're going to want to check it out. It was about just over 2 hours long, and it's going to make a lot of sense. And if I need to make some more updates regarding the situation, then we'll just keep going. But I'm hoping that this stream that I did earlier today makes a lot of difference. Great stream earlier, says Crash Course. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Got 28 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. There's a mother and her kid on a scooter, and the kid's lagging. So I'm just going to wait until they get far ahead, because I just don't want to pass by them with the camera. And this is one of those situations. Now they're turning left, so that's good. They're going a different way. That's cool. All right. We're in the clear. So yeah, check out my earlier stream if you missed it. If you're new to the channel and you don't know the backstory and you haven't been around for at least a few months or so, it may not be the stream for you, but check it out even so. If maybe you'll figure it out. But today I'm going to be talking about life coaching, and what are your honest thoughts about life coaching? I feel now Dawn and I have built a pretty good audience together of true supporters that can give some genuine feedback regarding this, because this is what Dawn and I do. Now, while Dawn doesn't label herself a life coach, I personally think she should, but she doesn't want that, at least at this point. I really can't blame her because of the stigma that life coaches get by some people. But yeah, no, we want to know your thoughts about, the life coaching industry, which is what I do here, what Don and I do. Do you feel that it has its place? Do you feel it is absolutely necessary? Do you feel it's beneficial? Or do you feel that if people really need help, if people really need help, like self-help and stuff like that, that they should only get it from a therapist or a psychologist? I really would like to hear your thoughts regarding this. I was going to do this stream. Earlier on this past week, but some things came up, and there was a lot of chaos, surrounding this stream at that point. And it's real interesting. The person that was going to rebroadcast me has completely transformed her channel, and I guess has completely removed themselves from the drama, which that's great. That's really great. So I decided to do that show today. I felt today was the right time to do it, especially after such a great turnout on the earlier show. Don and I really want to see, what people truly want to consume for content, and do people truly enjoy life coaching content. And we want to know more of what you want and more of what you don't want. Is that you, AZ Prod? Hey, AZ Prod, how you doing? Welcome to the show. 37 in the box, 2 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up and please share this out. I also want to ask our audience, do you feel that the life coaching, I hate it when all the sirens are going off. It's really loud. Oh man, it's so distracting. Anyway, do you feel that the life coaching industry should be regulated, or do you think it's fine the way it is? And if you do think it needs to be regulated, why? Tell us why in great detail. Also, do you think that, many life coaches try to come off like therapists and they're not licensed to be therapists? We want to know what you think, because, I've been doing this for 6 years now. And even before I became a self-proclaimed life coach, I followed many other coaches, and, for me, I've always believed, well, I wouldn't say I've always believed in the industry. When I was younger, I thought it was all a scam, but when I got into my mid-30s or so, early to mid-30s, I really started to believe more so in it. That doesn't mean I trust every life coach out there, or feel that every life coach out there is in it for the right reasons, or is qualified to be a life coach. And just because an industry is not regulated doesn't mean that you don't have to qualify. I feel that if you're going to be a life coach, even though it's an industry that's not regulated, I feel that you have to bring some value to the table. I feel that you have to have enough life experience and have been through enough things to be able to share stories with people regarding things you failed at and what you did to turn them around. And in my opinion, I feel that it should be both on the personal and professional side of things. So please get your feedback in the chat. This show is about your feedback. All right, let me just come across here because there's somebody standing right in the middle of the sidewalk where I was going to pass on by. Yeah, this show's about your feedback. I'd like to hear from you folks. And, if there isn't a lot of feedback on these live streams, because a lot of the people that watch, the channel here, a lot of you are driving, for DoorDash, Uber, etc., or you're running errands and you can't type safely. So we understand that. Please feel free to, put your comments in the chat. Or so put your comments in the comment section. I mean, on the replay. Sorry, it's been one of those days. I'm not really tired. I'm just I'm overwhelmed with a lot of things. They're good things. I guess you can kind of say I'm a bit relieved, because I really feel that things are finally starting to head in the right direction here. For Don and I running this channel here, Coach Eli 2, and the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. So don't mind me. I'm just a little bit, overwhelmed. But, this is a very important topic here. And this topic here will make a big statement regarding, if people are really truly here supporting the channel for the right reasons, or are you just supporting the channel when we talk about certain people and there's a drama aspect? Because the bottom line is we're not a drama channel. We never have been. And the only reason why we talked about certain things that come off like they're drama is because when you're being attacked unprovoked, you really almost have no choice but to stand up for yourself if you want to survive on this platform or on the internet. I've grown to learn that being silent on the internet is like worse than just admitting you're wrong at something, You got to speak up. You got to share how you feel. And a lot of times, ignoring things, even though technically it'd be the right thing to do, ignoring things isn't going to solve the issues. In some cases, it'll make matters worse. Give me a second here. I'll check out the chat here in just a second. Tiff, hello everyone. Hit the thumbs up on your way in or out. Outspoken, I would like to see more positive content, more content involving Dawn. Blues Girl, hi Eli chat. Just got home from work. Hope Dawn enjoyed her special date. Well, we're getting some people to pop on in here. What I'm asking here today is, what are your honest thoughts about life coaching or the life coaching industry? I'm not necessarily talking about me, even though I'm a self-proclaimed life coach. But what I'd like to know is, what are your thoughts about the life coaching industry? Do you think that it has its place? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think that people should just go see psychiatrists and psychologists and bypass life coaches? Or do you feel that a life coach can help you out with certain things that don't necessarily require a psychiatrist or psychologist, and you could use life coaches as a stepping stone before you would reach out to psychologist or psychiatrist, right? And do you feel that the life coaching industry should be regulated, or do you think it's fine the way it is? And if you feel it needs to be regulated, tell me why. I don't know a lot about coaching, but I think it can be constructive. Okay. So, Blues Girl, how would it be constructive for you? Because here's the trouble that I've seen over the years doing this, and it's not just me. Every coach goes through this. In order to be able to help people with their issues, people have to be open to the help, and they have to first admit that there's an issue, right? Or in some cases, people will tell you their issue, and then you suggest something that would fix the issue, and they're not willing to do it, or they think it's not the right thing to do. Well, if you're going to seek out the services of a professional, whether it's a life coach or psychiatrist, psychologist, a doctor, whatever, you do it because you're going to them for advice or some kind of treatment, so that way it can help push you along in the right direction of turning your life around in that aspect, right? But a lot of times people are just not open to the help. Or sometimes people will say, my problem's not big enough. Or, I really don't have a problem. But there is a problem. And it's very apparent. So until people can accept ownership that there's something wrong that they need help with, and they're genuinely open to the help, no life coach or any other professional, licensed or not, can help that person, right? Tiff, depends on what you're coaching. Life is a pretty broad term. I think coaches need to be working in congruent with a mental health professional in some instances. In others, it's not needed. Okay, that's a good point. Those are good points, Tiff. I always say you shouldn't have to forfeit the high road when you defend yourself. That's a good point. Blues Girl says also, well, I would agree, Tiffany, first. Blues Girl says also, perhaps you have to meet people where they are. They may not be ready. In that case, though, nothing will help them. Well, that's true. That's true. I think we need more accountability coaches. Well, that's what a life coach does. I think, well, how do I say this the right way? You hit the nail on the head, actually, Tiff. This is the reason why I like talking with people, because it opens up my eyes to more of what my own purpose is out here for. And you said, we need more accountability coaches, right? And that's exactly what a life coach is. A life coach is here to help you get what you want, not tell you what to do. Life coaching is not about telling people what to do. It's about helping people get what they want, right? But in order for you to get what you want, you have to hold yourself accountable. And I'm sure you can agree, Tiff, that part of the problem, and Blues Girl and anyone else, part of the problem for people getting what they want is a lack of self-accountability. They don't hold themselves accountable. And for many people, especially when you're younger and you're still learning how to function in the world and becoming more mature, right? Those sirens are still going off. Well, I'm going to go around the park because there's some Fiestas over there. It's too crowded over there to even walk through. I can't even get by. Man, like those sirens have been going off for like over 5 minutes. Jesus, man, wow. There must be like a big fire somewhere or something. And to be accountable to others, that's true. But most people, because they struggle with accountability, they need others to hold them accountable, and that's where a life coach will come into place, right? That's the main job of a life coach, is to hold you accountable, right? Again, we're not here to tell people what to do as life coaches. We're here to help people get what they want. And in order for you to get what you want, there has to be accountability, typically within yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable. But if you're struggling with that, then you need what's called an accountability partner. Have you heard of the term or the phrase accountability partner? Tiff, Blues Girl, anyone else? A lot of people haven't heard that because they haven't done any personal development. If you've done any type of personal development in your life, read any self-help books or anything, you've heard of the term accountability partner or accountability partners, right? And when someone holds you accountable, it more so forces you to stay on track and accomplish whatever task you're being held accountable for on time or ahead of time, right? Need to get into some shade here so I can look at the chat. It's a pretty bright day. It's a gorgeous day today, I gotta tell you. Look at that. A little windy, but it's not cold, it's not super hot. It's like 72 degrees. All right, give me a second here. Let me get by some shade. My son, when he got sober, had an accountability partner. Good. Tiff says, I haven't. No. I have heard of that, actually. Right. Sometimes Tiffany says, in order to change, we need to have checks and balances to someone of our own behavior. All right, that's a good point. But we'll tackle that in a second. To help him, not just with addiction, says Blues Girl, but with his growth and behavior outside of the addiction. Okay, that's good. That's true. That's a good point. Many people stop the addiction but do not address their behaviors. Tiff says, that makes sense, Blue Girl. I'm glad to hear he got sober. Yeah, I mean, stopping an addiction is different than human behavior in general, right? You're talking about human behavior in general, right? Now, can somebody that is an alcoholic have their behavior altered due to alcohol? Sure. Alcohol and substance abuse is going to affect your behavior, right? But once you get clean and sober, right, you still have to learn to function in the world, you know, at a normal level, right? And a lot of that is going to be based on how your parents raised you, right? How you were raised from your younger days. And I think in the modern world, you know, we're seeing a lot of adults now in their 20s, 30s, and even in their 40s that are behaving erratically, and it's due to a lack of parenting. And I'll tell you, the older you get, from what I've seen, in my opinion, the older you get, if If you have piss poor behavior and you're lacking maturity, and it's all due to poor parenting from your younger days, right? The older you get, if you haven't corrected the issue on your own or reached out for help to correct the issue, the older you get, the harder it's going to get to turn it around. Because the older you get, if you keep going down that route, it actually becomes who you are and who you will always be. And that's why I think, if we mention briefly, Mr. Jamie, I think, he's 39 years old. If he goes another year or two into his 40s, behaving the same way he's behaved all his life, that's going to end up being who he is forever. So I think that the sooner, if you have issues, and everyone's going to have issues to a certain extent, but if you have accountability issues and personal issues, you need to address the issue within yourself and seek out help. Whether it's a life coach, or if it's more serious, a mental health professional or a psychiatrist or psychologist, etc. You gotta be open to the help. You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. And a lot of people are not willing to invest in themselves. A lot of people, including myself, at least I used to think it was a scam. A lot of people still think it is a scam. It's not a scam. It's actually very important. Some people are unchangeable. That's a good point. When I was young, moms were home. Now moms have to work. It is a new world. Well, yeah. And, well, Blues Girl, I'm trying to be nice today. And I'm always trying to be nice, okay? Well, we're talking about feminism and women being liberated, right? And we're now in a modern world of where, women wanted equal rights. They fought for it. They got it. And I'm all for that. I'm happy and proud that women got equal rights. But it has changed the dynamics of the family, of family life. It's changed the dynamics of marriages and how kids are raised. And, it's just changed everything, right? Eli, I agree with you on the family dynamics. Well, yeah, because, look, if in this modern world, especially out here in the San Francisco Bay Area, you need two incomes to survive. So both the man and the woman need to work just to make ends meet, right? But if you have kids, what happens to the kids? Okay, if you have parents and they're retired, the grandparents can raise the kids during the day. And if not, then, you have, nannies and stuff you could hire, and then these kids become latchkey kids. And I honestly think that children need to have at least one of their parents full time while the other, parent goes to work. It used to be the man goes to work, the wife stays at home and takes care of the kids, right? I'm going to cut across this way, take a different route. And then the kids got raised properly, right? Oh, man. I just almost tripped over a sprinkler that's popping out of the ground. God, how dangerous is that? Wow, that's so dangerous. I didn't even see that. They should install those better. My God. Modern parents cannot rely on others to teach their children what they need to know. That's true. Mike S., as Tiff stated, some people are not amenable to change. Yeah, you're right. Blues Girl, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to want to change. That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. That's actually a pretty funny joke and a very good point. That's well said. Tiffany says, we have put parenting, families, education, and faith on the back burner of society. Look where that's led us. Well, and again, Tiff, with all due respect, listen, I have respect for the ladies. But the truth of the matter is women being liberated, women being more career focused and family focused is affecting the family home. And I'm not saying that women shouldn't work, but women should probably work from home and raise their kids. They could do something from the computer or something while they raise their kids at home, right? And there are many women doing that, but some women, many women also are going and working corporate jobs, and their kids are being raised by grandparents or by nannies and stuff. They're latchkey kids, right? And the problem is, if you try to even talk about this reasonably with most women, they get triggered because they feel like you're questioning their rights, right? And no, hey, if you're a woman and you want to, not have a family and focus on your career and become a corporate executive or something and go that route, more power to you. But if you want to have a family and do that at the same time, it's just not going to work. There's just the amount of time that parenting requires, especially when kids are younger. It's like you can't work a corporate job full time as an executive and then be a mom at the same time. You just can't. You're going to bring your homework, so you're going to bring your work home with you. And you're going to be working long hours at times, and then you're going to have to travel at times, right? And what's that going to do to your husband that's working his job? Like, it just creates one big mess, right? Tiff says, when we try to disrupt this natural family structure, it becomes an unnatural dynamic that honestly is difficult to work out. You're right. Blues Girl, I had to work. I would have loved to stay at home with my kids. I take nothing away from women who want careers. I just wish I could have stayed home. Blues, that's the thing. We don't have a choice anymore. Well, in some cases, women don't have that choice. You're right. Because it's so expensive now, especially here in California, Tiff, that both the husband and wife or the man and woman have to work. In other cases, depending on where people live, the cost of living is cheaper, and the husband or the man is making enough money to sustain the entire family, and the woman can stay home. In some of those cases, the women still want to work just because they want to have that freedom and flexibility to work. They want to exude their equal rights. They want to go out there and say, hey, I want to work. I want to be able to make something out of myself. And I personally think that, even if women still wanted to be at home and be housewives and raise the kids, I consider that a respectful job. I consider that a full-time job. I consider that a respectful job. And I actually respect women that go that route. Again, if you want to work, that's cool. No worries. I can respect you as long as you understand if you're going to go full-time into the workforce, especially in an executive position, that's going to come at the expense of your kids and your relationship. It really is. Why have we seen the divorce rate go up to 60% now? And it's not just 60% here, it's globally. The divorce rate is 3 times higher than it was before women were liberated. So, go figure. You liberate women, and the divorce rate is 3 times greater. Now, some women will say it's because, well, if we're making our own money, we can get up and leave anytime. Well, that's true. But if you find the right partner and you believe in your marriage vows and you have kids, why would you want to just get up and leave? Why wouldn't you want to try to work it out? right? And that's what makes a lot of men mad. It's like, okay, we've liberated women to the point of where they can get up and leave any time, and they're not even wanting to try. If something goes wrong in the marriage, like one time, they're not even willing to try to fix it, right? They just want to run off, right? Mike says it's a very stressful situation, especially for women. It is. Larry says, how many Californians does it take to change a light bulb? 8. 1 to change it and 7 to stand around saying they could do it better. Oh, boy. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. So, we got a little sidetracked, but it was an interesting conversation. So, I want to know what your thoughts are about the life coaching industry. Do you value personal development? Do you feel that life coaches have a place? Do you feel life coaches are scammers typically? Does it depend on the life coach or the person that's claiming to be a self-proclaimed life coach? Because all life coaches are self-proclaimed. There is no it's an unregulated industry, which is what I'm trying to say. There are no regulations for a life coach. Now, here's the thing. Any life coach that says they're a certified life coach, let me make this very clear, because there are people out here claiming that they are certified life coaches, okay? There really is no such thing as a certified life coach. Every life coach is self-proclaimed. I bet you folks didn't know this. Let me explain to you why. Because any life coach that says they're certified, yes, they did go and get certified somewhere, but the government didn't certify you. It was some other life coaching business that basically is certifying you on how they feel a life coach should be, right? Now, there are some life coaches out there that hire other life coaches to work their business. Let me wait for these people to walk on by. Let me just wait. There are some other life coaches, like I said, that hire other life coaches or other aspiring life coaches, and then they have their own course where they certify these people as a life coach of their business, right? Now, there's even a few places online that will give you a generic life coaching certificate, but none of those certificates are coming from any government licensed agency. To be honest with you, they're hogwash. They don't mean shit. No disrespect. Now, all it does is allow you to call yourself a certified life coach, but don't be fooled. Anyone that says, I'm a certified life coach, you should ask them, where did you get your certification from? Can you show me your certificate and where did you get it from? Because I'll tell you, it'll be one of those online places that gives generic certificates that just basically has a test and a book that you read according to how they feel you should be a life coach, and then you pass their test and they give you a certificate. But again, there's really no such thing as a certified life coach. It's all a scam for money. If you see certified life coach in any aspect, it's a scam for the most part. All life coaches are self-proclaimed. So, what are your thoughts about what I was saying? Do you believe in life coaching, and does it depend on the person? How important is personal development to you? Have you done personal development before, and how has it affected your life? Good, bad, indifferent? Let me get over here to the shade and read the chat real quick. This is very interesting. Maybe there needs to be a life coaching union. Yeah, I mean that could be a possibility. But the union would be like fighting for like wages and stuff, and we're all self-employed, Tiffany. Unless you get hired by another life coach that's running their own company, and then they certify you with their own program. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think Blues Girl earlier was asking, are there certifications for this? And I think I just went through that. Maybe there needs to be a life coaching union, says Tiff again. Larry says, Blues, it has a very important place in my honest opinion. Well, tell us why, Larry. Curious to know, why do you feel life coaching has a very important place? Mike asks, life coaches are filling a much needed niche. There needs to be a national standards and instruction. Okay, that's a fair statement. Tiff says, how would life coaches be able to regulate each other or certify? Isn't it a profession based on opinions? No, it's not a profession based on opinions, in my opinion, Tiff. It's a profession based on personal experience and how we learn from our mistakes. So most coaches I've followed, like Coach Corey Wayne, Coach Dan Bacon, the two best life coaches I've followed on YouTube, number one, Coach Corey Wayne, number two, Dan Bacon, Coach Dan Bacon from Australia. And basically, these guys and many others I've followed on YouTube over the years, and even Tony Robbins, all these coaches, they base their coaching from their personal experiences. Now, we do have opinions. I'm very opinionated, as is everyone, right? But when coaches talk about, dating or talk about business aspects and stuff like that, like for me, when I talk about dating, I've used my, well, let's see, I didn't start dating until I was, 16? So, I've been 16, 26, 36, 40. I've been dating for over 30 years. And now I finally found the love of my life. I've had 30 plus years of dating experience to understand, what attraction is and how important attraction is. It's a must and not a choice. I've learned a lot of things, regarding what's attractive to women and what's not attractive to women. I've also learned to understand, what turns off women too. Like I've said many times, this is for example purposes. Women are attracted to a man's strength physically and emotionally too. Emotional strength is important because men are going to balance out women's emotions that are typically running all day, every day as a part of their normal biology, right? And women are attracted to men that are able to protect and provide. That's what women look up to men for, even in the modern world of women being liberated. What women are repelled by is a man's weakness, right? Coach Dan Bacon used to always say in his videos, he goes, women are not attracted to men that are weak, needy, desperate, or insecure. With his Australian accent, he would be like, men that are weak, needy, desperate, and insecure, right? Now, when we talk about weak, needy, desperate, and insecure men, there's one man that comes to mind, I'm sure, if you've been around these neck of the woods for a while. right? Yeah, NLP. You're talking about NLP, right, Tiff? Yeah, NLP. I never really got into NLP. When I used to run networking events in person many years ago, there were some people that did some presentations on NLP. But maybe that's something. Would you folks be interested for Don and I to go into some NLP? And that type of content I would probably do pre-recorded, more so on the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. NLP is pretty fascinating, interesting stuff. But I'll be honest with you, it can be very boring to present, but it is important. It is important. Yeah, it would be interesting, Tiff. The thing is, look, here's the thing. And I'd be willing to work with you on that, Tiff. Is that some content you'd be willing to work on, NLP? Because we have to present it in a way where it's not boring. Because let me tell you, NLP is good shit, but it's boring as fuck to talk about. It really is. I'm not going to lie. Those presentations at my networking events, the most boring presentations were NLP presentations. So we got to find a way to better present this important stuff. Sure, I would like to hear about it. That's a good idea, Mike. Let me see. Where's Mike? Mike asks, GLM is a social worker, and I think that she could provide a good framework. Well, I'd be willing to work with her, too. Now, if GLM could snap out of some soft trolling, even you've called yourself a soft troll, Tiff. Here's the thing. If I wanted to troll all you, I would be the best fucking troll on YouTube based on what I went through. Trust me, I could troll the shit out of all you, but it's not who I am. I don't want to do that. But if GLM could snap out of the soft trolling person on YouTube, she's very smart. And she could help us with this. I think, between her, myself, and Tiffany, and, my girlfriend Dawn, we've got some pretty, good people here where we could present this and help a lot of people. But again, the problem is NLP is very boring to discuss. We got to make it interesting because it's very important. So again, we would have to figure out how we would make it interesting for people to want to consume it and learn it, right? Hey, GLM, of all the people trolling you, you still think I'm trolling? No, I'm not. I didn't say that, GLM. Stop it. You're taking me out of context. I didn't say you were trolling me. I said you are a soft troll to some people. Jesus Christ. Did you just pop in and hear it half-ass? We're actually praising you, GLM. What I said is that you are a soft troll to some people. I wasn't saying you're trolling me. What we're saying is that you have lots of experience in a very important field, and we could make some content with you and Tiff and myself and Dawn and some other people and help a lot of people better their lives. And believe it or not, there's a good amount of revenue to be made because there are people, once they see benefit in this, there are people that are willing to donate and pay a little bit of money to get this type of constant help that would benefit them, right? I think trolling has gotten a bad rap. It has. GLM. If GLM left and is not hearing what we're saying, then I got to give up myself because, I'm not going at GLM at all. GLM, you've actually made some headway. I don't know if you noticed, GLM. That other lady you've been going back and forth with changed her channel name. She's getting out of the drama. There are some useful trolls out there, fun ones who provoke thought, says Tiff Tiff. Blues Girl says, likewise, women need not change around for men. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Be loved for yourself. No, GLM, all I was saying is that if you were to focus more full time of not soft trolling people at all, I get it. It's fun. I'm not saying you're trolling me. What I'm saying is that I think you have a lot of knowledge and expertise in a very important field. And I think that between you, Tiffany, myself, Redwood City Police just pulled in behind me. There's another cop over here. They're always here to patrol. I feel GLM has given you very sincere support for a long time now. I agree. I'm not questioning that. I was trying to pay her a compliment, and I think she snapped. And I'm not coming at you, GLM. I'm saying I think you've got something great to offer and something we could truly collaborate on with some people out here. Some other content creators, and we could help a lot of people. And, you know, even do some revenue sharing too. You know, it's oh yeah, I forgot there's a big fiesta over here. I got to go around the other way. There are a lot of great people that I've met out here on YouTube over the last 6 years. And had we not been sucked into this crazy drama between JB Gunner and Jamie, like there's no tomorrow, like we all could have created some greatness. We could have taken this to such a great level. But here's the thing, at the same time, if all this didn't happen, some of us wouldn't have met. Like, I knew you already, GLM, but I didn't know Tiffany. I met Tiffany throughout all this. So, you know, I firmly believe that things happen for a purpose, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be, right? And everything was supposed to play out this way so we could all connect and create greatness, right? GLM is definitely a resource. She has professional credentials. Yeah, but she came in and left. She hasn't wavered either, despite some of her friends not being supportive of your channel. Well, yeah, basically she's friends with Coach Jay. That's one of them. And his wife, Anna, right? But she separates that, and that's fine. And I can respect that. Like, GLM, come on back and chat in here. No one's getting mad at you. Like, oh gosh. I just almost tripped over a tree bark or a tree trunk that's outgrown into the grass. Damn. It's hard to see the ground when you're focused on looking at the camera and ahead. It's hard to see what you're walking on. It's not easy running these walking with purpose streams. Has something happened? No, I mean, GLM must have just popped in here when I was saying GLM has a lot of great stuff to offer. She's a mental health professional, very smart and very knowledgeable. But she also, you know, has been known to do some light trolling out here. And what I'm saying is, I'm okay with that. But if we're gonna start doing some stuff more professionally, you know, in order for people to take it seriously, we got to knock off the light trolling. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't accusing you of like trolling me, GLM. At least not now. That's all. That's all been said and done in the past. But is there something going on with you, GLM, you're not telling us? Because I'm seeing some pretty weird things happening with some erratic changes all of a sudden. Like, is there something going on? Maybe GLM is going through something and has little patience, and I would understand that. You can reach out to me behind the scenes if you want, GLM, and I'll support you. I gotta say, it's pretty interesting to see good people here being respectful, and even many of you saying that life coaching does have its place. And that's really telling me that we're really starting to finally reach a real respectful and decent audience. GLM is definitely a resource. She has professional credentials. I know she does. I'm trying to pay the woman a compliment and she comes in here and thinks I'm trashing her, and I'm not. GLM, I have a lot of respect for you, and I'm trying to say that. And I honestly think she's going through something right now with some people behind the scenes. And I don't really blame her for it. I've tried to not talk about the things she's going through with other people that I also know as well, because I just don't want to cause any issues for myself. But I'm at the point right now where, hey, if you need our help with something, GLM, then you got it. We'll stand up for you. Screw it. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm done with all the games these people play. I'm done with it. Maybe we should give GLM some space. I mean, that's fine. We'll give her all the space she wants. Larry says, Blue's the breadwinner role for men and the homemaker role for women, roles which have served mankind, progressed for thousands of years, has rapidly changed over the last 40 years. It has. That has completely affected the family dynamics. That's completely affected the family home. And it's a hard thing to talk about because not all women, but many women get triggered when you talk about it because they think you're attacking their equal rights. And that's not the case. Most men that are reasonable are not saying women shouldn't have equal rights. Women should have always had equal rights. The thing is, if you want to have a family and you want your kids to turn out okay, the best way to do it is the way it was done during the days of traditionalism. But that means women have to give up working a corporate career. Women can work from home. And then you're going to say, ladies, some ladies will say, well, how about, the woman goes to work and the man is Mr. Mom? That's not going to work. I'll tell you why that won't work. That won't work because no matter what, in my opinion, and Tiffany, be honest with me. I'm going to ask you, Tiffany, and Blues Girl, and any other woman here, but Tiffany, I'm hoping to get at least an answer from you because you're very strong and you've got a good man. Tiffany, would you respect a man that you out-earn financially? Would you respect a man that you couldn't perceive as the head of the household? It doesn't mean that he owns you or anything like that, but would you respect a man that you perceive to be weak and that you were stronger than? How could you trust a man to protect you from danger if you perceived weakness from him, right? It's a fair question. I'm curious. I think we have the right audience here now to actually get some real answers and to provoke some really critical thought here. Important critical thought, right? Now, folks, Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm about to finish my second lap. I'm not going to do a third lap. I'm going to walk around a little bit longer for another 10 or 15 minutes. I'm probably going to cut through the park. Because I need to wrap this up by 40 past the hour, because I need to get to a few places before they close at 6 o'clock here Pacific time. And it's after 5 here right now. No, men are not supposed to be the moms. Women are the nurturing people in the family. I take nothing away from women who want careers. Yes, I don't want my men hiding under the bed, that is for sure. I really respect you, Blues Girl. I really, really respect you. That's a good point, Eli. A man as a primary caregiver is good in theory, but not good in practice. Yeah, no, and that's, here's the thing. That's been something that's been talked about throughout many communities. And, I used to be a part of this MGTOW community 6 years ago. And some women got involved on some of the panels we used to do back then. And we would talk about these things, and these women would get really triggered. They're like, well, what do you expect us to be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, right? Well, what if we want to go to work and you stay home? Well, that's no one's trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But my question is, to any woman that's married to a man, would you respect that man if you felt that he was weak and you were stronger than him? Would you respect that? Because from what I've learned in 50 years of life, is that women respect men that are strong, physically strong and emotionally strong. Good, loving, caring men that wouldn't hurt a fly, but are strong enough to protect their family from any danger. If a woman perceives you as weak, it's not going to work, right? And that's what these women don't understand. They don't understand. They're saying, okay, yeah, you stay home, be Mr. Mom. I'll go and work, and I'll still respect you, right? I'll still respect you. But yet the divorce rate is 3 times higher than it was before women were liberated, right? Over 50 years ago, right? Let's see. Hey, Miss Brezzy, how you doing? What a man makes doesn't make him weak. What do you mean by that, Miss Brezzy? Bless you, lady, says AD Prod. Are you saying strong because of income differences? Well, in my opinion, Patty, I'm not saying this about all women, but from what I've noticed, and other people have said, other coaches have said, other male coaches have said, that if a woman out-earns you in the marriage or relationship, it's going to be much more difficult for that woman to respect and look up to her man, because she's the one that's the breadwinner. She's the head of the household, right? Now, I think men and women should equally contribute to the relationship, right? But let's take Dawn, for example. When Dawn, after she got divorced, she was dating a man that she out-earned 3-1 when she was still a nurse. And she tried to encourage that guy to get a better job, but he was lazy, right? And then, she lost respect for him. It happens. I think women nowadays, don't want to come out and say that because they don't want to come off like they're hurting someone or picking on someone. But the truth of the matter is, women are attracted to men they can look up to protect and provide. That's the bottom line. A large discrepancy in salary shouldn't matter, but there is a risk of the woman resenting her male partner spouse. That's right, Mike. That's a good way to put it. And that's why the divorce rate is 60%. And the last time I checked, the women are the breadwinners in 30% of the households here in the U.S. So 30% of U.S. households, the women are the breadwinners, right? That's staggering. When 50 years ago, it was zero, right? So now 30% of the breadwinners in the U.S. households are women. But the divorce rate is now 60%, where it used to be 20% 50 years ago, right? Do you see a trend here? Like, listen, I'm all for people doing what they want to do. Do you see what's causing the issues? Right? Guess it depends on the woman, but not this woman. What he makes doesn't make me feel unprotected, etc. So I guess I'm different. Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe if you're the breadwinner in your household, Miss Breezy, however you pronounce your name, sorry about that. If you're the breadwinner, you know, maybe you have a lot more tolerance, or maybe your husband or your partner makes up for it in different ways. But you're a rare exception, and I can respect that. If that's how you truly are, and you've been in a relationship like that for a while, and you've been okay with it all this time, and it doesn't affect you from respecting your partner, then that's all good. It's just very rare. You know what I'm saying? Agreed, Larry. Totally understand. Yes, but look at the economic state of America now compared to 40, 50 years ago. Yeah, it's gone down the toilet. You're right. You're right. And we could argue, Larry, that I'm not saying it's women's fault, but one can argue that since women have been liberated, the economy started going the other way. Everything has just gotten more crazy. Now, I'm not blaming women for it, but you could argue that women being liberated had a huge effect in it, or part of it, right? That's what you're saying, right? Again, I'm not blaming women, but, the economy speaks for itself. And if something started to dip and go the other way, once a major event like women being liberated happened, then, it would make sense. I get it. Countries with traditional women roles like China, India, etc., are rapidly catching up to U.S. Oh, they've been there for a while. A lot of these guys, they say, we're going to go to the Philippines to get a traditional woman, right? Or one of these other countries where, like India and stuff, where women are still traditional. No. Those women are liberated too. There's not a place on the planet where women aren't liberated. That's why these old school, white guys that are very tradcon, old school, right? They're angry and bitter because women are not like slaves like they used to be. I never thought of women as slaves. But these guys are looking more so for a woman to be a slave of the house, right? And that's just really sad, because women being liberated or not, if I was living with Dawn in an era where she wasn't liberated, I would treat her like she was liberated. So to me, it wouldn't matter whether women are liberated or not. I would always have treated women like they're liberated, because I honestly feel that it should all be fair and equal between men and women. The only difference is we have biological differences. We have different strengths and weaknesses, right? At Donna, they're looking for subservient. That's right. And that's because these men are really weak and insecure. And they're afraid that if women have any power, that they're going to leave the guy, right? If women have any power of, making their own money and stuff like that, these guys are afraid that women are going to leave them. They want full control. Donna says men who go to Philippines, etc., are insecure. You're right. Amen. I was saying the same thing. You're absolutely right there, Donna. Absolutely right. And they're incels. They can't get women out here. It's the involuntary celibates, or the ones that maybe can get a woman and have a little fun every now and then, but they can't keep a woman around otherwise, beyond 1 or 2 dates. These countries where the women wear those T-shirts, I not love you long time. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, me love you long time is no longer valid, bro. Remember that song by Two Live Crew, "Me So Horny"? Me love you long time, right? Yeah. Miss Brazzy, to each their own. What works for you is what you should do, but at the same time, can't judge others or put out blanket statements on those that choose different. Well, no, I get that. I get what you're saying. Um, I've always been one, Miss Breezy, that says, do what makes you happy, right? But maybe sometimes I do make some blanket statements regarding my opinions. I'm a very opinionated person. And from what I've seen other people go through and what I've been through, I put it all together and then I state my opinions based on what I feel works best, based on what's worked best for me and many other people that I've talked to over the last, 30, 40 years of my life. So, yeah, I understand, everyone is different and every relationship's going to be different, but in my opinion, there are some standard practices between men and women that create attraction or, make people lose attraction for one another. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And there are certain things that any couple can do to each other that will make one or both lose attraction, right? So while I get what you're saying, you don't want to blanket everything. There are some standard things that are true in a blanket way, pretty much for everyone. And I feel that's because, of the way women's emotions work and what women seek in a man, someone to protect and provide, right? Even in the modern world of women being liberated, women still look up to a man for their strength to protect and provide, right? So, yeah, attraction is a must and not a choice. And there are some blanket things that, make sense for everyone. But then there are some variables, like you're talking about some variables that might work for you and your relationship, right? If look, let's say, for example, let me wrap up by saying this. If you're a man that's the breadwinner and, your wife is either working a part-time job making a fourth or a third of what you're making, but then let's say your kids get older, right? And you want to go to work and get a career now that your kids are grown, and then you want your husband to stay home or work a part-time job while you work a full-time job. In that case, if both of you are okay with that and you respect each other, that is not a problem. Where I typically see it as a problem is early on in the relationship. When you have young kids and all. Okay? Down the road, once you've been with somebody for a long time, it ends up not really mattering. I notice things matter the most, like first 10 years of a marriage, especially if kids are involved. And if you can make it past 10 years, you got a pretty good shot of making it the entire way. I've seen many people get divorced before the 10-year mark. I think the 10-year mark is the magic point for a marriage. If you can make it to 10 years, you have a great shot of making it till death, does you part, or till death do us part, I wasn't attracted to my husband's ability to protect and provide. I was attracted to his humanity. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you've talked about it before, Donna, and I respect you for that. I think that, in some cases, yeah, it can work. In many cases it won't, but everyone is different. And there are some women that are just very understanding and, are just easygoing like you, that accepts your man for who he is, no matter what he has or hasn't, right? Sabrina Marie, you're trolling, so you're out of here. When you live with women, it's almost like you're married. So don't come in here and try to question my experiences just because I've never legally been married. And I've also dated women with young children too, so I've had that experience of being around young kids. Don't come in here and try to question my opinions and experiences because you want to troll me, Coach Jay. Okay? All right, folks. All right, we're back. I got to go, folks. I got to get to a couple of stores where they close in 20 minutes. Please leave some great feedback in the comments section if you weren't here live or if you ran out of time to type it here before going off the air. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. Thanks for a great chat. You're welcome.